Now that we have seen how to build a use case textually, let's go ahead and add some functionality to our use case and add some requirements to it. Similar to our other modules, we have the add link functionality available on your right-hand side. You can add a link either to an existing work item from your backlog using the query title or ID search. Or you can go ahead and add a link to a new work item that you can create from this interface. Let's do that now. Here, we can select the link type when creating this new work item from the use case interface. We can select the work item type, user story, and give it a title and call it user. I should be able to log in. Once we click OK, we'll see that our user story work item will be created and linked to our use case. Now, if you wanted to add more work items, there is no limit to how many work items we can attach to this use case or what type of work items we can attach. Let's go ahead and add a smart tag to our use case, which will allow us to actually link an individual work item to a type of our use case. We will add this at step 2 of our main success scenario. And as we click on Smart Tag, we have the ability to fetch the work items using the query ID and title contains fields. So here, we are going to look for a specific ID which is 42775. And once it's available in the search, click OK and the system will add the work item to the Smart Tag window. Now you can select a format in which you want to display this requirement into the use case. You can either select a list or a table. You can also choose to have it comma separated. And then you can decide what content of that work item we want to display. You can just have the ID, title, or ID type, title, and state of the work item. Once we click OK, you can see that a smart tag has been added to our step 2. Once the smart tag has been added and we hover over the smart tag, we can always use the Show Details option to see which user story we have added in here and see things like the title, the type, the area and iteration part of the user story. Users can also open the work item in the standard Azure DevOps editor using the Edit feature. Now on the right-hand side of the standard editor, you can see that this use case is now tied to the user story. And now this can be done directly using the Add Link function. From the right panel, users can create brand new work items using the smart tag. So here let's give this a name. We are going to add a title and from there onwards, you can select our work item type. We are going to select a user story from the drop-down. We'll go ahead and hit OK. Now, we can see that we have added a tag to step 6 in our primary success scenario. We can also see that we have created a brand new user story that shows up in our backlog. Here we have the function of hovering over that work item to see more about it or open it up again in the standard Azure DevOps editor. And we can see that this user story we just created is also linked to the use case work item. Now, if you want to edit the label on the smart tag, we can simply double-click on the tag. Here, we can update the label for the smart tag. Once we update this text, you'll see that once applied it will not alter the title of the actual work item. Users can also go ahead and remove links to the work items by going into the Smart Tag feature and selecting Delete Link. Now, when you are building use case scenarios, you can also do things like adding tables or images into the use case. In many scenarios, you'll use this for adding in a screenshot of a particular mockup or diagram you have and allow it to be tied to your use case. But let's take a look at the diagram that we have created making this use case. Here, we'll notice that it's not necessarily the diagram we started with. We can see that some of the nodes of this diagram have changed. Now, If we observe the diagram carefully, we can see that two of the nodes of this diagram have updated to a purple or pink coloring. These colors indicate that these steps of the use case have smart tabs or requirements attached to it. Now that we have completed our use case and we have attached requirements to it, we can go ahead into the Details tab. Now, in the Details tab, we can add in a bit more context about what's going on in this use case. Then we can simply go ahead and make a smart report. We can generate that report and it will identify all of the contextual items we just edited as well as the scenarios and the diagram that we have created by making that use case. Now, this generated report can be exported outside of Azure DevOps. It will contain the description as well as the details of the use case. This brings us to the end of our video. Thank you for watching.